Everyone thinks they know how to cook a steak until they see how a real chef does it. I asked 5 different chefs, ranging from up-and-coming chefs to Michelin-starred chefs, how they cook their steaks. You're about to learn the secrets, the techniques, and the flavor bombs behind the most debated food on the planet. And by the end of this video, you'll never cook a steak the same way again. We'll start off this video with an Iron Chef, Marc Forgione, who's earned Michelin stars for his restaurants and even has his own upscale steakhouse.
This is actually 27 years old now. What's up, guys? This is Chef Marc Forgione from Peasant, and I'm here to show you how to make a steak like a pro. So the first thing we got to do is we want to make sure we get the right temp. We've been burning coals throughout the morning.
And what type of wood are you using?
So this is oak from New Jersey. We like to use oak. It smokes a little slower. It burns a little hotter. This is kind of a secret that you guys should do at home, right? Everybody that grills at home, I always like to season the grill or the plancha or whatever it is that you're gonna be working on that day. And the reason for that is you may have cleaned it. It may have residue from the day before, but this is a much better way than using like a cleaning product to clean your grill. Here at Peasant, we keep it as primal as you can possibly imagine. It's wood, fire, salt, pepper, olive oil, and then we baste it in a little bit of garlic butter with some seasonal herbs. And another good little trick when you're seasoning with the onion, you can almost tell the heat you're looking for by the onion on there. So again, just a little bit of olive oil.
So you can use the olive oil to use for the steak.
I wouldn't deep fry in it, but you can definitely season with it for sure.
The best cut for steaks, in your opinion, is what?
I love them all. I mean, listen, if you're doing it for a big group, I always like to go to a ribeye or a porterhouse or something like that. But, you know, one of my favorite steaks in the world is a hanger steak. Flat irons are really good. Strip steaks, again, you're asking the wrong guy. But I do find that if you're cooking like low and slow, you know, a nice thick steak really lends itself to that because it gets to pick up the aromas. So now that we've got this initially searing, I like to just add a little weight on top just to help with a nice, even sear.
What's like the biggest tip?
Get some really good beef, because then when you do that, all you need is salt and pepper. And then once you get good at that, then you can start adding your marinades, your bells and whistles. You don't need to learn everything in one day. Become like a master of it.
What's like the worst thing to do?
The worst thing to do, and I see people do it all the time when they're in a backyard or barbecue or something, is to play with the steak, have the flames come up, especially on a gas grill, when you think like that's like cool because it looks cool. Like there's nothing that tastes worse than gas fire on your steak. All right, we're gonna check this thing.
Oh my gosh. So really putting a weight on steak really makes a huge difference.
See how it kind of buckled up right there? If you didn't have the weight on it, you would have had a couple more pieces like that. So this is just spring garlic, a little ramps, young onion tops, garlic, and we'll just make like a quick butter. So I'll sear this side for like half the amount of time because the top side, we're really trying to get the crust. The bottom side, we just want to seal in the juices.
So for an oven at home, like what temperature do you like to set it at when you finish it off?
After I get a nice sear on my steak, if I'm doing this at home, I go like 325.
How long at 325?
For this steak, 25 minutes.
That steak's probably like...
This is probably about 28 ounces.
Good to
That's
know.
another good tip too. Like if you're doing big steaks, get them on the bone. They cook more evenly, they hold their shape better. I am gonna baste that other side before it goes in. All right, and you notice I'm cooking it on a tray with a rack. This kind of protects it a little bit. And you notice that there's not a big flame in there, but it's hot.
Have you ever put ketchup on your steak?
What? No, but I do put ketchup on my eggs. I tell everybody the magic number is 112 degrees, and then it will carry over to exactly where you want. All right, so now we're just gonna let this rest for about as long as we cooked it. All right, so we've rested this now as long as we cooked it, about 15 minutes, no heat. And now I'm just gonna take this steak, we're gonna put it back where we started it. And this is just to get like that heat back on the surface of the steak. This is about a minute on each side.
Look at that.
Nice and even and crusty, and now it's hot again. And then before I go to slice this, I'm gonna take our finishing butter, which is a bone marrow compound butter. And we're just gonna warm it up while we wait. So a little trick too, you always wanna slice it along the bone. Then you can always kind of test your doneness right there. You can see this is gonna be like a perfect medium rare. You ready?
How do you tell how to cut against the grain?
The general rule of thumb when you're doing a ribeye anyway, you can see the striations. On a ribeye, you have the cap, and then you have the eye. That's a perfectly cooked wood roasted steak. So this is bone marrow, a little bit of garlic, parsley, shallots. And then last but not least, I always like a little big salt. And that's it. This is how you cook a steak like a pro.
All right, chef, let's get it. Let's dig in. Oh my gosh, that is the juiciest looking steak I've ever seen. Chef, I think we cooked it primal, so we gotta eat it primal. Let's dig in, chef. Whoa.
It's so good.
You're right about the smoke.
Right, doesn't it taste different
All
from
the
the steak?
flavors are infused, yeah. You can smell the smoke. It's like a punch in your mouth as soon as I take a bite. So Chef Marc said earlier before that, you know, when we saw the cut of meat that he was working with, it wasn't the most marbled or the fattiest to make it extremely tender and juicy. He brought those flavors in just through all of the natural elements that he brought into the dish. So simple, but delicious. All right, guys, so for this next steak, we actually got from a discount store.
Wait, why?
I mean, YouTube's not paying us till next week, so.
Well, aren't you a Chime member?
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's go get a better steak. This is more like it, and let's be real. Good steak isn't always cheap, and sometimes payday just feels way too far away. That's where today's sponsor, Chime, comes in. With MyPay, you don't have to wait for your next paycheck to enjoy that ribeye or tomahawk steak. Chime enables members to access up to $500 of their pay before payday, giving you the flexibility to treat yourself, cover a bill, or just eat good whenever life calls for it. Get paid instantly for just $2 per advance or totally fee-free within 24 hours. Whether it's a surprise expense or a surprise craving, Chime's MyPay puts you in control of payday. So the next time you're craving a steak and waiting on a paycheck, don't. MyPay lets you get your pay when you say. Links in the description to learn more. All right guys, today we're gonna learn how to cook a steak properly, just like how a Michelin chef would. So we're gonna go work with Chef Yuan Tang. He owns Rooster and Owl, a Michelin-star restaurant out here in DC. He's gonna show us how to cook a steak the proper way, the Michelin way. Okay, chef, we have aromatics, butter, steak. Is that a marinated steak right
That's
there?
a marinated steak. That's what it should look like after we finish marinating it. It's actually a pretty quick process, so I'll show you how to do that.
All right, let's do it, chef.
All right, so first we're gonna start by a quick marinade for the steak. So that just involves blending up some shallots, garlic, some thyme, parsley, and olive oil. Really quick rough chop to help the blender out. This is all gonna go into the blender.
So did you come up with this?
I've cooked steaks for many years in many different restaurants. This is kind of just my preferred way of doing it after years of trial and error. So what it comes out at the end is just a nice green paste.
Wow.
I'm going to show you guys how to season the steak at this point. One of the things we were taught in most French restaurants is that we season our food a la minute. I actually find it better if we season the steak the night before. So this is a dry-aged New York strip. We've taken it off from the loin and then we just trim some of the fat. This is room temperature right now. So we're going to let our steak actually sit out for 30 minutes before cooking it too. Small piece here that I'm going to show you some common mistakes to do with. So we're going to take our kosher salt, season generously on all the sides. It's going to look like a little more salt than you think, but some of it will come off as it sits overnight. And then we're gonna do some cracked black pepper. So ideally we leave this sitting for about at least 2 hours. Overnight is preferred. That's gonna yield the best flavor. 24 hours later, this is what it's gonna look like for a piece of steak.
Okay, so we go from this to this after 24 hours.
24 hours. And we're gonna just take a towel and rough some of the excess off. But most of it we're gonna leave on. So my preferred cooking vessel is a heavy bottom cast iron. So we're gonna start off by heating it on high heat until it's gonna be lightly smoking. We're gonna add a little bit of oil. So we start off with a little bit of oil.
When do you know when the pan is ready?
So you can see that it's kind of lightly smoking. That's kind of where I want it to be. And I'm gonna turn the heat down just to like medium high. I'm gonna go straight into the pan. So one of the tricks I've learned over the years to get a really even sear is actually to move the steak around the pan. Really slowly and gently move the steak around the pan. And what this movement is doing is allowing the surface to hit and get an even sear.
Oh, so constantly rotating it around the pan is actually good.
Yes.
I always thought that you should just not move it, just let it sit.
Either method works, but this one I find to be the most even. So as you can see, it's getting very even color.
Wow.
All the way around.
Look at that.
We're gonna let it just cook for another minute and then we're gonna turn it.
Is this the only way you cook steak at home?
Yeah, the same way I cook steak at home. You cannot stress the importance of moving slowly, because if you move too fast, the oil might get on there. We're also gonna put it on the side here a little bit. And so finally, what we're gonna do is we're gonna baste it with some more aromatics. Some thyme, garlic, and a little bit of butter to baste the steak. Okay. The garlic, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just simply crush it with the palm of your hand. We're gonna add everything in onto the steak. Turn the heat down a little bit and add a good knob of butter. And now we're gonna just baste the steak. I put it on top so then when the oil hits it, it goes back onto the steak, flavoring the butter, and then it's flavoring the steak. So I'll do that for probably like just 10-20 seconds. It doesn't need to be very long. So as you can see, the color is extremely even on both sides.
Beautiful.
There's several ways you can check the temperature of it. The most common way is by touching it. That method I find to be inconsistent because that's dependent on the type of meat. So I finding the temperature is the best way. So we're looking for about 125 to 130 for medium rare. So we're gonna start by using just a probe thermometer. So right now it's probably about rare. And then the other way, which we do in the restaurants, something called a kick tester. Very inexpensive, probably like 20 to 50 cents a piece. And then you're gonna get the temperature right there where the middle of the steak would be. You see chefs do this? That's them testing the temperature. So at this point, it's still rare. I wanna bring it up to a medium rare, so I'm gonna put it in the oven for actually just a couple minutes. Right about 130. That's perfect medium rare. So then we're gonna take just what we had earlier, while rest, we're gonna just let this sit on there. And now we're gonna let it rest for at least 5 to 7 minutes. One of the most common mistakes is people not resting their steak long enough. I'm gonna show you what happens if I cut the steak immediately after cooking it and what that looks like. And I'll show you the difference too without moving the steak. That's been about 2 minutes now, so I'm gonna start to flip it. The difference is quite dramatic.
There are spots. So
there's a darker spot here that's getting a little hotter, and then some spots that it's not quite getting enough color. Now we have to work a little harder. I'm gonna try to hit the spots that are less colored. Like I said, both will yield delicious results, but this one kind of has a bit more darker spots and lighter spots. This one is a more even color. All right, so the steak that just came out of the oven, we'll try to slice into it now and see what it looks like.
No rest.
As you can see, it's really uneven color. It's really red in the center and like different shade on the outside. So this is the one that we did rest. So as you can see, this one after resting, the color is more even. It's still juicy, but it's not kind of like seeping out like this one.
The one on the right is the one that you let rest, and the one on the left you did not let rest. Should we start from worst to best?
That's right. So this one didn't marinate overnight as well. You can kind of taste the difference between. So it's still a delicious piece of beef, I think, but the flavor definitely didn't penetrate.
Still better than if I made it at home. Steak beef. This is supposed to be better.
Let's see if it is.
This
definitely
is
juicier, definitely tastes more seasoned.
This is a big difference. So you did 3 things. You let it sit in the marinade overnight, you rotate it on a cast iron pan, and you let it rest.
Let it rest, yep.
Well, thank you for that lesson, chef.
Today I'm going to show you how to cook the steak in a Michelin way. This is the Denver cut. It's from the chuck idol under the blade.
So usually this is like a stew meat, right?
Usually stew meat known for the ground meat because it's very hard to get this part. This part has a lot of marbly nice. If you cook it right, it gets a lot of flavor and good texture.
Did you always want to become a chef?
Yeah, I've been cooking over 25 years.
Wow.
So since high school, I decided to want to be a chef. I started working at like hotel, aside from dishwasher, so making sandwiches. This bed is very good, so we're gonna season lightly. And then we're gonna lightly sear here.
What's the most important thing to cooking a steak?
There's a lot of factors to make a perfect steak, like a temperature and the seasoning. Depends on the cut. You don't need to cook all the way through because we're gonna marinate and then sous vide.
Does it matter how many times you flip a steak?
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
A lot of people get mad at me for flipping the steak too much.
Yeah, it's a preference. So I show you the difference from the fresh steak and then a sous vide steak. So here. So this is the rare.
Look at that marbling.
I show you how to prepare with the galbi marinade sauce. So this is a ziploc you can easily find anywhere. So I'm marinating the Denver cut and then using this water bath because most house doesn't have the sous vide machine. Gently take all the air out, submerge it. Everyone has ziploc, right?
Yeah.
Just simply dump in.
So how long are you sous vide that for, chef?
At least 12 to 16 hours until you get a nice texture. After 12 hours, it turns out like this.
Right now we're cooking two different ways.
Two different ways. This is without marinating. This is our marinade technique. It still needs like 7 minutes. Look at the color.
Wow.
It's sexy, right?
Sexy.
This is our Denver cut.
That is a beautiful piece of steak right there. You see the crust on the outside? Chef, we gotta dig in.
So this is very nice. This is not marinated.
Non-marinated.
Yeah. So this grain is this way. It's better to cut this way.
Oh my gosh.
See?
Got that.
Yeah, you can tell the difference.
Wow. It's so tender in my hands.
Yeah.
All right, let's dig in.
A lot of steak flavor. Meaty.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it like this, chef. That's so good.
Different style. Like this is a very like tender and
sweet.
a lot of flavor in it. And this is like a straightforward steak flavor.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank
Out
you,
of 10,
Danny.
baby. Let's get it. Chef David.
Good morning, Mr. Danny. All right, we're gonna make the Cafe de Paris butter, which got invented in Switzerland. So to start, first we're gonna do, we're just taking regular unsalted butter, and we're gonna whip them nice and fluffy. That's around about 5-10 minutes till it changes color, it gets nice and fluffy. So once we serve the butter doesn't melt, so it stays kind of nice and fluffy and a little bit firm, so it's not like liquid butter.
So that's the key to a compound butter. You have
Correct.
a nice room temperature butter.
And then whip it up nice so it stays nice and foamy once you're actually using it. While we're waiting for the butter to whip up, we're making all the herbs. Italian parsley, chives, shallots, anchovies, a couple sprigs of tarragon.
What type of flavors come from tarragon, Joe?
Like acid a little bit. It's very refreshing and it gives the butter a little kick to it. 1 sprig of rosemary, lemon juice, fresh thyme, dried marjoram,
What's that?
similar to oregano. Then we have dried dill, ketchup, Dijon mustard, 2 cloves of garlic, cognac, Madeira, it's a fortified wine, Worcester sauce, brine capers, and then all the different spices. That you probably see what it is. Not gonna tell you. Another spice, another one. One says orange, one lemon zest. And salt. Now to the fun part, blending these. Have a look. Wow. And now as you can see,
Oh my gosh.
so again, mix this one more time. And that's it. So these now, we're gonna put in a container, let it sit overnight, and then we're gonna use this for tomorrow so it can all set nice together.
Beautiful.
So I got here 2 beautiful pieces. Got ribeyes, about 10-11 ounces a piece.
So ribeye is the best cut for the steak.
I like ribeye because it has enough fat, and again, very simple, salt and pepper. Both sides, nice salt and pepper. And I like that sear on the steak. Always render the fat, so sear it on all the sides so the fat is not chewy, so you actually render the fat so you can actually eat it.
Anything you want to share with the people? Like tips for the young chefs out there?
I always tell people either you love it or you hate it. If you hate it, run as fast as you can.
What if I want to open a restaurant, Joe?
Go ahead. If you like it, do it. It's not easy, but if you like what you do, it's fun. And I like to eat my steak medium rare.
Then
So
you
we're
put
gonna
in
let
the
it rest now for 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes are up, we're gonna flash it quickly on the broiler. 1 minute or so till it get nice and hot. Our compound butter, which we made yesterday, we scoop it with an ice cream scoop so we can portion the size out correctly. We just spread it out on the plate. We're gonna give it like 5 or 6 slices. We add a little bit of moldy sea salt, a little bit more pepper. Right here. Nice handful of fries. And I always say the key to good French fries is Only fried fries in the oil, nothing else. Put them in the French newspaper bag. Here is the best way to eat steak at Steak Frites.
That compound butter looks crazy.
Wait till you try it.
That smells amazing. I can smell the herbs you put in. Oh my God. I was a little suspect when you put the ketchup in. Chef, that is the best steak frites I've ever had.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. What are we doing today, Chef?
Today we're going to be making a kaffa ribeye, which is Ethiopian inspired. First step is we're going to grind the coffee beans, and then we're going to make the spice rub for it. Kaffa is the name of the gentleman that has been credited with discovering coffee in Ethiopia.
What are the benefits of using coffee beans for the dry rub?
Because it's so strong, it's going to enhance the flavor, and it's also going to tenderize it. We have our coffee. This is our house spice. It has all the things that you see here: salt, black pepper, thyme, cumin, coriander, black cardamom, a little bit of betty, a little bit mita. All these things are mixed in here, and I'm going to add this to the coffee.
Wow, there's so much aroma coming from that.
Now we're going to get into seasoning our steak. A little bit of grapeseed oil, first time.
Dude, I've never seen steak being in some coffee rub like this.
I'm gonna get a hot pan going. Now we're gonna make the kibe butter. It's a family secret. It takes about 2 weeks to make the butter.
Jeez,
yeah,
2 weeks?
So I clarified some butter already for you guys. I'm gonna add everything here to a RoboCoupe. So I'm gonna add some clarified butter in here. Turmeric, cumin, ginger, basil. One main ingredient that comes from Ethiopia is called kosarat. It has a lemony flavor to it, so it's kind of similar to lemongrass. You can use nutmeg or cinnamon. I like a little bit of both. Cardamom, betty, mint mita, black pepper, salt. All right, here we go. This is your finished product right here. It's completely clarified. There's really no fat in it. I think we're ready to start cooking. So I have a smoking hot pan here for you. I'm gonna add some grapeseed oil to it, and we're gonna sear our steak. There we go, 14-ounce ribeye. You want your pan smoking hot because you also wanna get the bitterness of the coffee out as well too.
What's hard when you have rubs like this is because it's coating the steak, I don't know when the steak is cooked.
I learned how to test my steaks from my hand and also learned how to do it with a thermometer. All this jiggliness in my hand, that would be rare. So as I clench my hand a little bit and it gets a little bit firmer, you can go to medium rare, a little bit more, medium, well done. Oh. There's no bounce back.
So it's literally just fist out of your hand.
Pretty much.
What do you think is like the worst thing that people do when making a steak?
The worst thing you can do when making a steak is ordering it well done. What? Because in my opinion, at this point, you're eating shoe leather. You don't get any nutrients out of eating a well done steak. Now I have a nice sear. I'm gonna transfer it to another pan. Fresh time. Add our kibe butter.
So essentially this butter can't burn.
It cannot.
Because the fat is all out.
So I added some first time, the kibe butter. So I serve my steak with broccolini. Go straight in with some blanched broccolini and herb butter. I'm gonna go back in the oven now, and I'm gonna grab the steak. Here we go.
Wow. Yeah, how long do you recommend resting a steak for, Chef?
I recommend resting your steak for about 2 to 3 minutes. Time to plate. Bow. You finish it off with a little bit more kibe butter. There you have it, Vortex Restaurant and Lounge, kaffa ribeye. Wow. That's beautiful.
Kaffa ribeye.
Kaffa ribeye. Wow.
The coffee beans, I see what it did. It kind of actually broke down the proteins a little bit, I feel like.
Definitely.
And also gives this aroma that's, it's not like overbearing, but also just so like nice. I'm gonna have to make kaffa ribeye at home. I feel like more of the world needs to popularize this type of steak. That's a crazy. Chef, thank you. Appreciate it. That was amazing.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Kaffa ribeye.
Yes, sir, my pleasure.
Ethiopian way.